Hey guys, so I'm here to tell you what you actually need for your baby. As a mom of three, I bought a bunch of crap that I actually didn't need for my first baby and that I ended up donating a lot of it. It was just a waste of money, and I kind of narrowed down a list of things that are essential. So if you're on a budget, trying to save money because having kids is so expensive, I'm just gonna run through a quick list of things that I find useful and things that you absolutely need. And then run through some things that you don't need, some extras, you know, if you want it, it's nice to have, but it's not essential to run the household. It's not essential, at least in my opinion. And this is all my opinion. So I organized it by categories. First, we're gonna start off with feeding. So, I mean, if you're breastfeeding, obviously you can get a pump through your insurance, or there's portable pumps. I don't breastfeed, so for me, we use bottles. So we ended up just using the same bottles we had with all three of our kids. Thankfully, they all latched to this type of nipple. So each nipple is going to be a little different, and you might have to try different bottles to see if baby likes it or not. We usually just use either the Philips Advent, and then I have used Dr. Brown's in the past, and those have worked wonderful as well. But the only thing you have to replace are the nipples. They do change in size. So I think this is a level 3 right now that I use on my daughter. She's about 5 months old. So you have level 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's just gonna control like the flow rate, like how quickly they're gonna be able to drink the milk. Obviously you match it to the month, 0 months for 0 to 1 month, and so on. So now preparing the formula. So I did have the baby Keurig or the baby Breza. It's kind of like a Keurig where you pour the formula. It's a pain to clean and it's great, but we ended up just not using it with our second and third. It was just too much of a hassle to clean. We just prepare bottles by hand. But there are different things you can use. So I use this also with my first baby as well. So this is a Dr. Brown's, although you can use it in all of the different bottle types. So it doesn't have, you don't have to have Dr. Brown's bottle types. You can use any bottles, but this is just a pitcher. And so you can make your formula all in one night. So you can prepare it the night before because it's all good for 24 hours, keep it in the fridge, and then pour it in the bottle how many ounces you want like the next day. So say your baby needs 3 ounces, whatever, you pour 3 ounces and then you warm it up. So this is just good for keeping a track, like if you don't want to make the bottles one at a time, which is what I usually do. So if you want it all pre-made the night before or the day of, this is great to have, and you just keep it in the fridge. All right, this is something else you can use. As you can tell, it's still in the box. I haven't used it because I revert to my old ways. So this is just an instant, so the water is warm. This is by Baby Breza, and I believe other companies make it as well. But the water is warm, so you don't have to worry about heating up the bottle. The water is gonna be warmed. There's different temperature settings, so you can put like 3, 4 ounces, whatever, and then pour the formula in afterwards. And that way you don't have to heat up the bottle. So it's a great way if your baby is screaming for you not to have to heat up the bottle. So if you're like me and you just manually make your bottles, this is a bottle heater. So this is my tried and true Philips Advent that I've been using. It works with all bottle types. So you just poured in some water, set it to however long, and then it warms up your bottle. This is the ones I've seen in most of the daycares that I've gone to. This is the one I've used for like 3 or 4 years, and still going strong. Other than that, like your baby's not going to be eating solids or whatever. So like for a while, usually they don't eat solids until like 4 to 5 months. I usually introduce closer to the 6-month mark. So I don't really use bibs or spoons or any of that until like later on. So if you're just trying to buy for baby, like the first few months to get you through and then buy as you need, I would just suggest those. You don't really need much more. You might need some burp cloths. Definitely need burp cloths actually. So for all the spit ups and everything, but like, I don't know, I have a bunch from like my son, and we've been using the same burp cloths for years. Some you can get at Target, Amazon, Walmart, whatever. So other thing you do need for feeding is a sterilizer. I tried the whole sterilizing and like the pot, like boil the water. That took 1,000 years and it like damaged some of my bottles. I don't know how, why, apparently it's just me. But you could get a baby sterilizer, and you don't have to get like a super fancy one, because I have bought expensive sterilizers and like they broke within a year. And now I'm using one that I think I paid like 40, 50 bucks for. It was like one of the cheaper ones. Like it's been great. Like it's lasted me for like 2 or 3 years. So after like my first fancy one broke. So yeah, you definitely need a sterilizer. I mean, unless you really want to boil it in a pot of water, but let me tell you, you're gonna be exhausted. Washing bottles takes so much of your time in like washing pump parts, bottles, all of that. So the sterilizers, and they take about like, depending on what sterilizer you have, they can take 30 minutes to an hour to sterilize. And so you don't want, after a long day, to be sitting over watching the bottles boil, like the water boil or whatever, flipping the, no, like honestly, we don't have time for that. So sterilizers, you can buy any and you'll be fine. Okay, sleep. Okay, so that was like the feeding category. This is the sleep category. Okay, so for sleep, I don't even know why I bothered buying these anymore. Like, this is just a waste of money, like in my opinion, is this bassinet. You see this? This is the bassinet. I don't know why each time I have a baby, I just in my head think they're gonna sleep in the bassinet, because the bassinet just ends up being used for clothing, storage, or my cats sleep in it. Like, honest to God truth, no one sleeps in this bassinet. My baby barely takes a nap or sleeps in it. Like, and I've used like 3 different bassinets with all 3 of my kids, and bassinets are just not their thing. Most of the time, unless you're like a blessed soul, incredibly blessed, your baby's gonna be wanting to sleep on you, to contact nap. That's typically how babies are the first 3 months. That might be a hard pill to swallow. That's how all my babies were. That's how a lot of my friends' babies are, unless you're that lucky soul that your baby doesn't want to be held while sleeping. This bassinet is just, you don't really need it. And if you do, you can just get like a cheap one, okay? You don't really need like those fancy, the ones at the side are nice, that like if you're breastfeeding and everything, I could imagine those are nice because they're literally like right on the bed. So yeah, those are great. But yeah, I ended up not using, I actually ended up giving away all my bassinets to other people because they were never in use. So I just held the baby. Now, speaking of holding baby, what did come in use for that was this. Okay, these are like the baby carriers. I have had a few wraps. I'm not a big wrap person. I like the carriers because they're easy. They're already hooked up. All you have to do is throw it on and put the baby in. And a lot of times my baby would sleep in that while I'm walking around the house or doing whatever. And it's just easier. They like movement. They're used to it. So definitely no like at least for me, I didn't need a bassinet at all. I just ended up needing like 1 or 2 good carriers, like maybe 1 wrap and 1 carrier. And if you do, for me, I know it's not advice, but I let them snooze in this when I'm sitting right next to them. So this is like a lounge thing, like a DockATot situation. So this lounge thing, my babies, I don't know, all of them like sleeping in this, but I would only let them sleep in it when they're literally right next to me. Like I'm watching them 24/7. So, but it was pretty much the only time, because I don't like using swings. So I just let them sleep in this instead. I don't know. Also for sleep, because they have that moral reflex, newborns, you might have to try a bunch of different swaddles to one for yours and baby's liking. Some babies hate to be swaddled, some enjoy it. Mine always enjoyed it and slept better. But using a swaddle. So swaddles are definitely a lifesaver for the first 3 months. Usually you stop when they start to roll over, around like the 3 to 4 month mark is when you'll stop using swaddles. But yeah, definitely a bunch of different swaddles. So especially if your baby like pees through their clothes and is peeing on all the swaddles, and you only have like 1 or 2 and you don't want to be doing laundry in the middle of the night. I had like 5 or 6 swaddles in my house at all times. All right, I'm gonna throw up a picture. I don't have it on me like right this second, but like a noise machine. So like this Mom Cozy or this Hatch one. So we used the Hatch for one of my kids, and it's a nightlight and a noise machine that you control from your phone, and you can touch it and it'll turn on. It's pretty cool. So it has all these different sounds. We usually just use the white noise, and then if we feed baby at night, we put it on like a dark red light so that it won't really wake them up. and we can still see enough to feed baby. So definitely a noise machine, because you're trying to like mimic the womb to help them sleep a little better, and they're used to hearing like those loud whooshing noises. So definitely a sleep machine. And I've been hearing that or a sound machine, I've been hearing that brown noise is great for babies. I usually have always used white noise, and it actually helps me sleep. So you can buy some really cheap ones though on Amazon for literally like $10 or $15. So, and they have like a portable one. I have one somewhere. My kid was messing with it. But yeah, to put in the crib or put in the stroller whenever I'm walking baby. So blackout curtains, I definitely would recommend because again, like you're trying to mimic the womb. Babies like it really dark. They're used to a dark setting. So I definitely use blackout curtains just to help any light, you know, because my kids, they tend to sleep better in a dark environment. So yeah, just some cheap blackout curtains. There also, I used for safety, for peace of mind, I did use the Owlet. Now I know it's like super expensive. It's like $300, but if you are like paranoid, anxious, you can't sleep well because you're worried about baby not breathing, I use the Owlet sleep sock just for more of like a peace of mind. I know that there's like not another person like watching baby, but I felt that for me, it's been accurate in my experience of using it. So I definitely use the Owlet sleep sock. And then for cameras and monitors to keep an eye on baby, I did not use the Owlet camera. I just didn't want to pay all like those baby camera prices. Like they're so expensive these days. But I've used several baby camera monitors, but honestly, there are some, you just need like a regular home security camera for like $20, $30 online, like the Wyze camera, Zosi, the Casa camera, and like those do the same exact things as those marketed towards like baby cameras, baby monitors or whatever. So there are like the cool ones you can, I've seen like the Nanit, I think you put it like over the baby in the crib. But honestly, like all the other ones, it pretty much does the same thing. Like, and you're just paying a fraction of the price. It's just, I think you're paying for the marketing, you know, but that's my opinion. So, right, clothes. So baby clothes are like the funnest part of the babies, but honestly, I choose practicality over like looking cute. Like it's cool to have some cute outfits, like if you're gonna take them out, but like realistically the first 3 months, unless you're like blessed with a village or a baby that sleeps all the time, you're probably not gonna be leaving your house that much unless you have to. So I know for me, I literally just, my kids live in onesies. And I used to buy so many baby clothes, and I realized you really don't need that many baby clothes. If you just do like laundry every few days, if you have that option. I just bought less and I use the hand-me-downs, and honestly, I buy baby clothes on sale and just use those. I will say the buttons, so like they lived in like onesies or like these with some pants. But some of these clothing, if you see, this goes to like 6 months. So sometimes it'll say 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6, 6 to 9. But a hack I learned is that, well, I don't know if it's a hack, but I love like the clothes at Old Navy. They're just so cute for baby clothes, and they're actually pretty inexpensive, especially when they go on sale. But compared to like other clothes, if you see, this is 6 to 12 months, and then they have like, I think 0 to 3 or 0 to 6 or 3 to 6. They have a wider range. So this is usually gonna last you about 6 months. When one of these shirts, they're usually like 3 to 6 months, it's gonna last you 3 months. So if you're trying to get your bang for your buck, go to Old Navy, look at the ones that cover 6 months worth. So that way you're not buying clothes, because it does add up. Like your baby grows so much in the first year, you're constantly buying clothes. But honestly, I just go to like Old Navy, or like I look for the clothes that like are 6 to 12 months or like 3 to 6. It's a little harder at the beginning because they grow a lot quicker. But yeah, look, 6 to 12 months for these pants, and you get, it's the same price as like the other baby clothes companies, and you can use it for 3 months longer. So that's my honest review if you're trying to save money. And then like socks, yeah, socks are great, except like kids always lose socks. I don't know, like, and other than that, you actually like don't need that much clothes. Like I honestly, like I spent more money on like having good swaddles to help my baby sleep rather than clothes, because like I didn't even care about clothes. I'm not leaving the house. Baby's not seeing anybody. Like it doesn't matter. Like you can wear the same onesie all day. Like I'm wearing the same thing all day. So, okay, fourth thing. So the hospital last time for my first two babies, they gave me a bathtub to go home with. So it was like that plastic, I'll put a picture right here, but it's the plastic bathtub. And there's like the flower one I've used in the sink, but honestly, I like the plastic one because that one is gonna grow with you for like a whole year. So like, yeah, you can use it for like a whole year, and I'm all about using that item that I buy for like as long as possible. So that flower one, like in the sink or whatever, you can only use that. I mean, you can use it for quite a while, but honestly, I'd rather have the one I can use for up to a year or longer. So, and then you just need some basic bath soap. You don't really need anything crazy, like, you know, so you need the tub, the soap, and then, oh yeah, diaper cream. So I think that's always good to have on hand. You don't like have to have it, but like, you know, you don't have to buy it ahead of time. But I really like the brand Desitin, but really anything with the zinc in it, like just look for the active ingredients. That's what's really going to matter. I know there's all these different diaper creams and it's like, this is the best, or this one, or this one, or that one. But like, look at the active ingredients, because that's what's going to matter. And just having, I believe it's the zinc oxide in it. That's what is the, I believe that's the active ingredient that really helps the skin to protect it, especially when they get diaper rash. So that skin's you put it on, it forms kind of a barrier to keep like urine or poop from wicking the skin. So yeah. Pretty much you can buy like the no-name brand, like the generic brand, and you'll be fine. It's the same active ingredient. So it's kind of like Tylenol or acetaminophen. One's a brand name, Tylenol, one you're gonna pay more money for, or acetaminophen. Same active ingredient, one's cheaper. So that's how I view it. But some people swear by certain companies for skin. So 5, obviously you have to have a car seat. Like, you know, car seat, are you gonna do a travel system? Are you gonna do like, are you gonna do a car seat and then a different stroller? For me, I did like a travel system, and my car seat, I had the Peg Perigo for my first kid, and then I would like take the car seat out of the car, strap them into the stroller system. Second one, I got the Doona, life-changing, literally just, you don't even have to take them, like put them in, take them out of the car, and it becomes a stroller. There's none of this having to run to the trunk, get the stroller out, fold it, flip it. The Doona, it's literally like you press 1 or 2 buttons and that's it. It's a stroller, it's a car seat, game changing. And if you need to put it in more than one car, all you do is, I think it comes with a base when you buy it, but you just buy a second base if you can, you know, if you can afford it. You just buy the second base, put it in the second car, and that way you're just going from car to car or whatnot. But you know, the stroller travel systems, I find like they're pretty expensive usually. And you have to have like the same brand for it to work out. So think about when your baby outgrows the car seat. I just think it's a hassle. And I dealt with that enough for my first one that I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, definitely need a car seat. So the Doona was good for up to a year as well. I know I talk highly about it, but it's probably like my best baby product that I have. I refuse to get any other car seat or whatnot, just because the practicality of it, especially when your baby falls asleep in the car seat, and if you want to get a few more minutes of extra sleep, you just convert it into the stroller, and you're not like, you don't risk waking them. So it's just so much easier, rather than a lot of times when baby would fall asleep in the car seat and I'd have to set up the whole stupid travel system, and then having to lift the car seat and strap it on and then strap it off. It just, when you're doing groceries and everything, it just becomes so much. It just like, yeah, it's a lot physically, it's a lot. 6, so some of the last things is definitely a good play mat, like for them to do tummy time, because tummy time is so important. Like you should be doing it the first day they get home from the hospital. Tummy time is just what's gonna help them crawl, walk, all of those motor milestones. You're building it up through doing tummy time. So definitely a good play mat. I like I'll put a picture. I have the Fisher Price one, the Kick and Play one. I don't know, that one, the music is great. It's really not that expensive, and it's like colorful, and my babies, they love to look at it. So, but really any playmat will do, you know, anything. And then maybe some tummy time toys. So here's like a tummy time toy that I love, this. So babies love, like, I guess like at first when they're first born, like their eyesight obviously isn't that great, but they like things that stand out, like colors. So like high contrasting colors, black, whites, reds, towards the 4-month mark, the greens, and then mirrors. So mirrors are pretty cool. They like to look at themselves. I guess it helps with spatial awareness as well. But yeah, you can get like a lot of these on like Amazon and stuff. I have blocks, you know, just some soft toys. This, I can put it on the stroller. They love this. I don't know, keeps them happy, whatever. So, but honestly, you don't really need as many toys as you think you do for having a baby. Maybe, yeah, like toys are important, but that's going to change. And honestly, less is more. I used to have a whole bunch of toys, but now that I've narrowed it down, is this thing gonna stop singing? Now that okay, toys that sing a lot, unless you want to be hearing that same song for like hours and hours and hours, it better have a nice lullaby or something, okay? Because your kids are going to be pulling them toys like all the time. You're going to be having to listen to that. So make sure it's something that you can also stand as well. But you actually don't need as many toys as you think you do. So honestly, just some blocks. And you can just buy as you go. You can buy toys as you go, and you'll start to see as your baby like ages, like in those 3-month spans, what they're aiming towards, or like what toys will be good for like their learning and development. Yeah, but you just in general, like you really don't need as many toys as you think you do, and you can just buy as you go. Honestly, I should have just done that ahead of time instead of having a bunch of different toys. Maybe buy some teethers and stuff. But like the first 3 months, they're really not playing with toys. The first 3 months, you're basically just feeding, sleeping, bathing, holding, carrying. Like they're not gonna be super duper interactive. They don't really get that way until like more towards like the 4, 5, 6 month mark. So that's when I would suggest buying more toys, just based on what they're interested in at that time frame. So yeah. And last thing, for changing tables, like you can buy a changing table, you can change them on the ground, on the couch. You can buy like these blue chucks and just change them on that. I have this portable one. I've been using this one by Skip Hop. I believe it's by Skip Hop. I don't know. But whatever. It just goes on top of their dresser. And yeah, I've changed them all on it, and it's easy to clean. I would just honestly buy something that's like easy to clean. That wasn't that expensive, and it's not something like I'm drilling into my dresser that I have to worry about leaving a mark and taking off later. So I definitely have like extra crib sheets. If your child pees through their pajamas a lot, like through the night or whatnot, you do not want to have like no crib sheets to change into, or like bassinet sheets or whatever. So that happened with me. I only had like 1 or 2, and then like my kid kept peeing through, and then I just went to the store the next day and I bought like 5 or 6. That way, like, you know, I wasn't doing laundry every single day, but I had some backups as well. But honestly, this is just my opinion and what I've used for the past 3 years for my babies. And then I think the one last thing that's really important for you, for mom, dad, whoever, is having I didn't realize how important this was, but having a very comfortable rocking chair. Because you think they're gonna be staying in this bassinet? No. I can't even tell you how many hours of my life I have spent rocking my baby, feeding my baby. You wanna do that somewhere comfortable, somewhere that's gonna be good on your back. I bought my first like nursery chair from, I don't know, Bye Bye Baby or something. And like, it didn't have that good a back support, but I bought it for like the aesthetic because, oh, it was so cute, blah, blah, blah. But my last rocking chair, I bought it on Amazon, and it had like thousands of reviews, and I think I paid $200 or something, maybe 225. But that rocking chair, I'm gonna be keeping that for a long time because it is so comfortable and it's perfect. You're gonna be probably rocking baby to sleep for hours, you know, sitting in the chair. You're gonna be doing 6 to 8 feeds a day. And if the feeds take 30 minutes to an hour, like that's what, like up to 6 hours a day or more. You wanna be comfortable and you wanna save your back because it is a lot of physical work. Having a baby, not only is it emotional and mental, it is a lot of physical as well. So take care of your body as well as your mind. So hopefully this helps somebody out there. If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. I have other reviews on products and other videos on like the outlet and stuff I've used. But yeah, drop me a comment. I'd love to know your opinions if this helps somebody out there.